Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Sales Technology Podcast. We're doing a series called CEOs in Sales Tech, and I'm joined by my good old friend. You're not old, but we go back a couple years now. Sindre Haaland from SalesScreen. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me, David.
Yeah, we were just talking, we were waxing nostalgic about the good old days of the technology industry. And we're
Yeah.
hoping that, it's coming back and we see little, green shoots in the market now that, all the weaklings have died. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for coming on the show. You've been working on this for a number of years. The big problem that we see is, how do you keep salespeople motivated, excited, keep everyone on the same page? SalesScreen has really focused on gamification and probably beyond that now. I mean, that word is from like 10 years ago, but what's the problem that you're solving? And how do you think about that?
Yeah, it's actually a pretty huge problem, I would say. It's the way that I think about it is that there's always going to be human beings in sales. And sales is not going to be done by AI to AI. It's going to be a human involved. And as you know, and as I know, the sales process could sometimes become quite repetitive and tedious. Some would even go as far as say, boring. And that boring prospecting work, that boring labor you have to put in to actually be in scoring position, that is the work where motivation really comes into play and where you need to be intrinsically motivated and excited to go out and do that consistently. And most people aren't intrinsically motivated. You have many different types of personalities in your sales team, and you have different types of jobs. Some of them are very transactional by nature and repetitive. And like to be able to hit the number of dials consistently every day, like 100, 200 dials, to really go out and do that prospecting, add 20 new prospects to a sequence consistently every day, so you don't get your roller coaster ride on pipeline. Like that's tough sometimes. So that's where managers comes into play, and they're so creative. They try to get you fired up. They try to get you motivated to do this, and they tend to do the same things, like have a gong or a bell that they ring when you want to celebrate something, or like a shared Slack channel. They want to have, I don't know, they have competitions, lotteries, spin the wheel in the office if they have an office, or they do different types of spiffs, and they try to put up leaderboards and dashboards. So like they try so many different things, and like what we set out to do is like to be that sales performance management platform for the managers to be able to motivate and get your team excited day in and day out to consistently hit your pipeline generation goals and your sales goals. So it's all about motivating the sales team.
Yeah, and how does it work? So there's a set of SDRs or salespeople. There's the CRM that they're working out of, and then even going back a few years, I remember there were big screens like all over the sales floor when we actually used to work at home. Now everyone's working virtually, but how does it work so that you can actually see your progress and what you're doing on a daily basis?
Yeah. So, in its core, in its essence, is all about visualization and true visualization of your key activities and metrics that you want to track. You drive accountability in the team. So we tie into your CRM, your sales engagement tool, be it, Outreach, SalesLoft, or your dialers of the world. And then we take that data into our platform and we distill it down to some key behaviors that you want the team to focus on. And typically that's consisting of activities and outcomes. So the activities are like, oh, you made a call, or you added a prospect to a sequence, you completed a task, you booked a meeting. That could be, an outcome, or you actually made an SQL or an SAL, whatever, with the dollar value. So we take all these activities and then we visualize it on web, on a mobile phone, and then on TV screens in office space. So you can see real-time leaderboards. You can see, live progress of competitions that you're running through the tool. You will see celebration moments going off with like YouTube videos playing when you get those outcomes, your own personal one. That's always fun. Or, achievements because you just did your 100 dial today. That's unlocking a badge and you're on a streak and you want to keep that streak alive. So now you're consistent and you're also getting some virtual currency for doing that, which again, you can save up and redeem rewards for. So it's in a whole ecosystem of kind of like many different tools built to motivate the team to work together, celebrate together, and really fire each other up so that they are consistent day in, day out.
Wow. Okay. It's amazing. I mean, I still see people use whiteboards, and
Yeah.
they just have a name of a whiteboard or chalkboards. I mean, that's how far back I go. But how would managers, use this to be able to, you don't want to like spy on your team, but it's almost like, there's going to be somebody at the top and somebody at the bottom. And do they look at it like, okay, I need to focus more on the top or the bottom, or how do managers use this?
Yeah. So because we track typically the funnel metrics that leads to the outcomes that you want, we kind of know the whole funnel. We've obviously also leveraged AI and with our Scout AI, it will be able to kind of surface insight to the managers about, how they're doing. And if people are, wavering off, they need a push. So maybe you should, have a conversation with them or you need to fire them off. Maybe it's a broader thing. So it signals that you should run like an after lunch competition to get people excited. And then it picks the one that it has had the most success with your type of people that needs it. So it's kind of advanced in
Hmm.
figuring out what things can the tool help with to get them excited, and it suggests that based on like the performance outcome that it predicts. So one concrete example is like if you have a team that loves to be, killers. They want to be on top, and they're really driven to that. Maybe you have a classical leaderboard, but if you have like a more, let's say, a socialite type of team environment where they live off that teamwork and the tap on the back, then you might run a team-based competition or even maybe a lottery-based, so that everything that you contribute helps, and you get a ticket for the spin the wheel moment by the end of the competition. But if you're the best, of course, you get the most tickets and the biggest shot to win. But it kind of like figures out this and your team and suggests these things along the way so that you can always course correct towards that target you're running towards. So it's a toolkit for the managers to see the performance, to drive accountability, and to boost motivation so that they can course correct and get to goal.
Yeah, and it's almost like, if you're doing this there's a lot of hard work that goes into prospecting and sales, and it's almost, you kind of feel like Groundhog Day after a while. It's
Yeah.
like the same day over and over again, and we don't really think about how can we make this fun and
Yeah.
enjoyable and little prizes and things like that to just kind of give people like something to look at and be motivated by. And do the managers, are the managers using this, are they being really proactive where they plan out like 3 months of contests and motivation, or is it more reactive where they start to see issues in the data and they start to course correct?
Yeah, so it's a combination of both. Obviously, we also have customer success managers who constantly kind of help the managers and management of a larger corporation to make gamification strategy plans for the quarter and the year. So in that degree, you kind of decide on what is your key metrics that you want to drive behaviors and focus on right now, because less is more. If you focus on 50 KPIs, you're going to get overwhelmed. So you need to pick some that you want to really boost for, let's say, the next 3 months. And then that's what you want to build: dashboards, visualization, leaderboards, contests, achievements, everything around. And then you track that consistently over time and see, like, are we actually getting to where we want? And then you course correct. So it's like a bit of combination of both. So you put a plan together in the beginning, but then you also can get those insights from the Scout AI and be able to course correct throughout the quarter. And then you set a new quarterly plan to keep it fresh, keep it fun, keep it exciting, so that it doesn't become kind of, stale and boring.
Yeah, and you think about, there's sort of the evergreen problems that you have, which is we need to create more pipeline, we need to create more sales meetings, and then we need those to convert to more sales. I mean, initially it's like that; those are never going to go away. There's always going to be those three, and so what they can do is sit down and go, okay, we're going to really focus on those three, core components for this quarter, and then as they go through the quarter, the manager comes in. You're saying that they get alerts, and your AI will tell them, hey, you're off course here. You need to do something different. Does it actually like suggest things for them
Yeah.
to do, or how does that work?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the beauty of it. It can actually, the AI is capable of understanding if you're wavering off, your kind of like path to goal, because it's more than just activity. Like it's not like, oh, just raise your calls to 300 a day or 400 or like something crazy like 2000 if it starts hallucinating, right? It also looks at the conversion rates. So it's more like, okay, your team is actually struggling converting those phone calls. There could be an issue with the leads. It could be that you need to have coaching sessions with them to kind of like help hone in the skills on the phone. Um, but if you see someone who's doing, less than average amount of phone calls, then it's more about, giving them a little bit of a push to get up there. So it will see those types of behaviors in the team and be able to give both inspirational, motivational, and suggestions of what to do in real time, so you can do those course corrects. But
Yeah.
that's pretty fresh. That's new, but it's like what we came from, as you said, is gamification. So we always had these tools, but without the AI part, the manager was kind of like the one that we had to lean on to be able to see these things as it unfolded on the dashboards, on the scorecards, and all those places inside our tool. But with the latest, innovations in AI, you don't need to have that, let's say, data savvy manager anymore, because the AI will do it for you. So you could be more the one in the trenches, motivating them and having fun. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think that people get like in the cybersecurity space, they call it like alert fatigue. They've got this
yeah,
huge dashboard with 500 alerts going off all the
yeah,
time, and it's just like, how
exactly.
could one person do anything with that? So, and what I've seen with sales gamification is, the manager gets all these alerts, and they're just like, it's just too many alerts. I'm just going to go do something else. I don't even want to deal with this. So it's like AI can come in and analyze those results and just produce, what is it, like a to-do list for the day for them to do, or something
Yeah,
like.
concrete actions they can
Yeah.
click out, and it actually can create the competitions. It can create new dashboards. It can change the
Huh.
key metrics. It can adapt achievements because nobody is hitting it, or like this one is too easy and needs to go up. So it's very smart right now, but like things are moving so fast in the AI space. So like the next thing for us is probably going to be agents that can not only suggest things for you, which is like one click and you action it, but actually you can lean on it even more. So it just actions things.
Oh my God.
Um,
That's
so,
crazy.
yeah, we're going into I would say, a pretty fun world. Like, we've been doing SalesScreen now for more than a decade, right? And the changes that we're seeing possible now due to AI is quite extraordinary. So yeah, we're pretty, let's say, bullish on the future of sales performance management in a way through gamification and AI. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's really amazing, because at the end of the day, as the CEO or the sales leader, you just want the results, and it's one of the many things that you have to do. You're like, are we going up and to the right, or is it going down? And it's just like all the other stuff, you know, if the AI can do it, great,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah. So we're
And just
getting to
think
that
about,
point. Yeah.
yeah, we are. And it's like, if you think about this problem like on a grand scale where we have we work with companies like Adobe, SAP, HP, and they have thousands of team members and hundreds of managers. So it's a lot of responsibilities on the managers, and they have a very wide role, and they have to do so many things.
Yeah.
And this is important, but it can be neglected easily if you're under the gun to deliver reports and data and this and that, you know. So yeah, but you shouldn't, because this is definitely so critical. Because the middle performers of your team, if you're able to get them, 5 to 10 percentage points better, that's going to make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if you think about that, there's like that 4 box quadrant where it's urgent and important. You got to drop everything and do it right now. But this is more, it's important, but it's not urgent. So you could easily go, for a couple weeks without
Yeah,
coaching and mentoring and motivating your team. And that has so many detrimental results that I have to say that especially sales development managers has got to be one of the worst jobs in the company.
yeah,
And no offense to everybody that's listening, but it's like, your team doesn't respect you, your boss doesn't respect you, unless you're delivering results
of
consistently,
course. But then they
and
get promoted, and then
yeah, you're out of there. And
yes,
I think one of the major reasons is because they don't focus on this very issue that you're
yeah.
talking about. That they just sort of focus on what's urgent and important right in front of them versus the longer term development of the team. So
Yeah, it's definitely something we've seen. Like, we've had clients who've been with us over a decade, and for them, this is a big part of their sales culture. And
yeah,
this is like ingrained into how they are managing and how they're doing. And what we're seeing is that they have pretty, phenomenal loyalty amongst the staff as well, because it's more fun to work there. Honestly, people care about your work. It's not like you're having your best week ever and nobody notices. There is actually, an achievement will go off. People will see it in the social feed. They will engage. They will drop a GIF. They will give you a like. It matters. Suddenly you feel seen, and that's just human needs. So I think it's important and can easily be forgotten, but it shouldn't, because it's critical if you want to build that sales culture that actually is able to retain staff and deliver consistent high performance on the middle performers.
yeah, and they should call you because you've got, you could go on for a long time, and you have these success stories. I read some of the case studies that you have. You've had customers for years and years. The product keeps getting better, so you're doing something right. Last question: Do you use SalesScreen at SalesScreen?
Oh yeah. And we've taken it one step further. So we have all the roles in our company on it. Even like last week, we had a multi-round competition with engineers where they had to do at least one bug fix or like a pull request review in order to progress to the next round before it was like a epic battle on the Friday. And one of them did like 36 push of code, pull requests, which was pretty cool. So yeah, it's something we bring every role into and have fun with, and it's a central thing for organization.
That's so funny because you would think that they would be like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." That's geeky. That's for salespeople, But then actually, the one guy gets on there and does 36. So I
Oh
love
yeah,
that's hilarious. So it's not
average
just
maybe
sales. I
one or
mean,
two, right?
you could use this. I mean, you guys should do a webinar about how you rolled out SalesScreen to the whole company because you know if you're running a competitive, especially a tech company, everybody can be on SalesScreen.
Exactly. It's very easy to add those manual activities that you can't track anywhere else. So like, for instance, we wanted to have some more D2 reviews. We made that a manual activity for the CS team, and then we ran a competition and we got 34 in just a couple of days because they started to reach out, and that's what we incentivize the behavior. So you can have many types of use cases in different types of teams when leveraging it. And we also have like a Strava integration. So if you want the whole company to come together and just have mental health week, and you can have like a who has run the most miles or done the most minutes in the gym. So we have consistent like weekly achievements going off on like the gym rat and the most miles. So.
That's amazing. I love Strava. Strava is so much fun to gamify basically running
Exactly.
and doing all those exercises. So that's hilarious that you guys have it put in there. Sindre, by the way, everybody, this is not sponsored. I'm just honestly curious about this because I've been tracking this industry for like over 10 years. And I mean, I had lunch with the guy who started Hoopla like a million
Oh.
years ago. And so this has always been really interesting to me. And you guys are doing some great work. Can they connect with you on LinkedIn? How do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, I'm active on LinkedIn. So Haaland is my handle, and I'm always available on email, of course, as well. But I would say LinkedIn is probably the where you will reach me the easiest. So
Great.
go get it.
Yeah, thank you for coming on and sharing your wisdom and good luck with the rest of the year. I hope it gets better for you.
Oh yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me, David.
Okay.
Take care. Bye bye.